Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and it's Monday. I won't say Happy Monday, because I know Happy Monday isn't the right term for Monday. That's kind of two things that don't go hand in hand. I've been very fortunate to not really have Mondays mean what they used to mean to me in a very long time. But I still say that, you know, sometimes I do wake up on a Monday and there's sort of that weight of like, Monday. You know, the big thing for me anyways, is that I don't typically have a work day on a Monday. Today, however, is one of those unusual days where I find myself working on a Monday. Normally, Monday would be the day that we'd sit down and record the Pipcast. And that's going to be changing, unfortunately, because I'm going to be working Monday now. It's just, I've always had a weird week, or a weird schedule that could potentially be ever-changing when it comes to my day job. So that's the case, I'm now back on Mondays. And, well, it doesn't really, you know, weigh as much as it used to me. I mean, I can tolerate my day job, unlike some of the day jobs that I've had. I did want to sit down and kind of talk about that, you know, that emotional state that a lot of us find ourselves in. And it's not just influenced by your job. It's not just influenced by work, but, you know, any number of things where you can find yourself feeling down, you know, and how that can genuinely affect, you know, your performance in life, you know, whether it be at your job or, I'd say most importantly, you know, depending on how important your job might fall into this list to you. But I'd say just like the interactions between loved ones, your family, and your friends, like the normal things that you need to do, you know, to have a happy life. And I think for me, one of the big things that ties into that, of course, is doing YouTube. You know, if you're somebody who's very much an entrepreneur, or who works in a sort of job where it's not just about doing the typical 9-to-5 grind, but you have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things that you're doing as an individual, and having that sort of heightened emotional state where you have that really heavy sense of positivity, you have that that mental energy and that focus you need to do your job damn well and to be able to do it every single day is very, very important. So I'm not a man of steel or actually even the man of steel has emotions, so we won't even say that. I'm not an Iron Man. I'm not, you know, some blank-faced person. I'm definitely affected by my emotions, just like everyone else is. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I struggle with from time to time is having, you know, is occasionally just getting that funk. And I need that energy, I need that mental focus in order to do YouTube. Because when I don't, like, I can't put ideas together. Ideas that I had previously decided were awesome no longer feel awesome. You know, I'll, like, open up my OneNote page and it'll be like my list of, like, video concepts, and I'll go to try and compose one of those on a day like today, where I know I have a limited time frame, especially, you know, where I'm sitting here and I've got 4 hours before I've got to go to work or whatever. I've got, you know, 3 hours, 5 hours. Okay, I need to put this video idea together. I need to get the footage, or I have footage. You know, I gotta edit it, I gotta do the vocals, and I gotta get everything wrapped up so I can have it rendering while I'm at work, or possibly rendering before work, so I can have it uploading while I'm going to work. And there's like a million factors that go into that, just like, you know, anything with a lot of you guys. So the big thing for me, though, you know, right, is it's easy to talk about the fact that we all get in a funk, right? It's easy to acknowledge that, like, yeah, I know those days. We can all say that endlessly, right? And I think that's the common thing we like to do in society, is we like to, let's just be very straightforward about it. We like to bitch. We like to bitch about, oh yeah, I had to wake up and I only had 3 hours and I gotta go there. And I've tried to eliminate that facet of communicating with other people for my life, because what does that really do in reality? Does that, you know, make you feel any better? Does that make the person you talk to feel any better? No. You're all just kind of in a bitching fest about, like, yeah, I worked this many billion hours this week, and, like, it's such a, you know, it's such a commonplace thing in society where no one actually sits there and then talks to another person and says, well, you know, here's what I do to get out of my funk. You know, these are the things that help me have a better day, so I can be at the top of my game, so I can take those calls, I can deal with those customers, you know, and I can leave work not hating every second that I was there. Or, you know, like I said, you know, for me, the big thing is, you know, making sure that I'm going into a YouTube video with the passion I need to maintain that energy, which is going to help me focus on my commentary from beginning to end. A big example of this is I've been trying to work on another episode of Adventurers Inc., right? The first episode I did with The Witcher was, like, so just dead on for me. I loved that episode. I loved that take of that episode. The energy was high throughout, and I just was like, boom, like, this is so good, right? I've recorded 3 episodes since then and trashed all of them. Probably a combined total of, like, 25 hours of work. Probably more than that, actually. You know, between, like, looking at them, and then sometimes I've recognized that even though I may not like the first audio, I'll go through and I'll edit it and see how I feel later. But I ended up hating all 3 of them. I'm like, these are terrible. Like, you know, I had this big energy drop-off problem. And they were all videos, coincidentally, that I recorded in a small time period before work. You know, so I had that weight of the crunch on me, feeling like I had, you know, I gotta get this done, and that, you know, affects your emotions. So like I said, let's talk about how I've recently been able to overcome quite a bit of that. You know, I think the biggest thing is finding that one trigger, as I like to call it, that's gonna help you sort of flip that switch. You know, it's gonna help you put that switch in the on position when it comes to mental stability and energy. Because like I said, it's very easy to have it just kind of off, you know, and to just through the day, and you know, and it kills me because I'll start off a video and I'll be like positive, positive, and then I can tell. I know usually during a recording when the energy is dropped off because it usually means I've shut up. And not intentionally, for the sake of letting someone, you know, hear what a character has to say. I've shut up because I've lost focus of the situation, and I'm no longer able to balance playing the game with communicating with you guys, with the audience. So for me, it's about finding those positive triggers, and it's not as easy as you think, right? There was a point in time where I could flip on a certain song and it would definitely get me flowing, and there are still songs out there like that that I sort of save, you know, that I listen to on a regular basis, but I have kind of bookmarked in my brain as like, that's a song that helps me deal with this sort of funk, you know, this sort of mental, you know, if you want to call it instability or situation, whatever you want to call it. Sitting at the bottom of the emotional roller coaster and I need a ride to the top, that's what I go to essentially. But sometimes you just kind of find it out in the blue, and this is why I urge people to be really positive with one another, even when you're not in a great mood. And I've never been someone to go into like work and treat others, you know, poorly because I have a bad mood, but it's something I see so many people do. So many people are like, well, I was having a bad day. Oh, don't talk to this person, they're having a bad day. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, they're not, you know, really attempting to make their day any better, and now they're trying to make mine worse, so I don't really like that person that much anymore. You know, so it's that idea of even if you're having a funk, stay positive, because you never know when that interaction you have with somebody, you know, it could be in the world of video games, it could be in real life, could help, you know, fuel their day, and then also turn around and fuel your day. So a little bit of a scenario I had today, and you guys are seeing some footage from that. You may have already saw the clip, I'm not sure how far along we're going to be at this point. I woke up, definitely like, okay, it's crunch time. I know that I'm pretty much going to be capturing footage today and editing some stuff. I'm not going to get a traditional video out, which is where this video idea came into play. My mind works in mysterious ways, and a series of events led me to making this video today for you guys to watch. So I'm like, let's get into Overwatch. I need some Reinhardt footage from a Reinhardt guide. Let's see if I can stumble into some matches where I can play as a tank, and let's see if I can also, you know, kind of let's just see if I can build up some positive energy here today, man, because I'm feeling low. You know, I might just have to go out and soak up some vitamin C. I don't know. So I hop into this match, my first match, and I'm just... One of the weird things that happens for me, and I think this is totally a mental thing, and I know a lot of you guys can probably attest to that weird mental, like, sort of situation you have when you're feeling down, is that my throat feels very heavy, my voice feels very heavy. And I feel like I don't have the energy to push my vocals out of my mouth. It's this weird thing that my brain totally amplifies into this very physical element, even though I know it's completely mental. So I'm sitting there playing, and I'm just like, oh, I couldn't even commentary right now, and I'll like spit out my intro, or I'll just like spit a few lines to try and warm up my voice, and it's not happening. So the match goes on, and there's a player named Tyler on the other team playing a Bash. We're just having a good match. Things are going relatively well for us. It's admittedly they don't have the heaviest of resistances on us on Watchpoint for Gibraltar, but at one point we're pushing towards the final sort of uphill and then bend where we're gonna deliver the payload on Gibraltar. And there's a staircase off to the left side that has a health pickup and then also leads out into open sky and a cliffside. So there's a McCree there and a Bastion. And Bastion, I'm like watching him, waiting for him to drop that turret. And I get in line of sight, and I think I threw a hammer, and then I just go full charge with Reinhardt. I'm like, screw it. You're going down, I'm going down, we're all going down. We're going for a little flight. and I think I actually got both of them, if I remember correctly. I'll have to watch the footage again. But I definitely got Bastion. I think McCree went with us. All three of us went off the cliff, and the dude just types the most fitting thing, and he's like in all caps, was it worth it? And I'm just like, yes. And we both laugh about it. It was that small interaction, you know. I could tell he was saying it in a positive way, and it completely fueled me. You know, from that point on, I just had this huge grin on my face. That's all it took for me, you know? And sometimes that's all it takes, I think. Just that small thing. So really what I want you guys to share with everybody else, if you feel like sharing, is, you know, some of those triggers for you that help you kind of flip that positivity switch on, that mental focus switch on, and that help you have a great day. We're not talking about just getting through the day. I really hate considering that. I think that's the thing that people do when they have a bad day, is like, oh, I just got to make it through the day so I can go home and just blah. You know, I'm talking about maintaining that positive outlook and actually enjoying your day, which, you know, I'm someone who I don't want to go to my day job. No, this is why I want to do YouTube. I want to stay home, make YouTube videos. I want to stream. Like, there's so many things I want to do that are prevented by my day job, but I can't go there and just be in a mental drought, because that's not going to help me when I get out of work. You know, that affects your whole life, and to me, that's like the slow devolve into, like, you know, depression, which I know is a much deeper topic, affected by a lot of different things, but you know, I don't want to find yourself just constantly buried in that. So I try and enjoy, you know, the time that I spend at my day job as much as I can. I try and maintain that positivity, again, not just for myself, but for those around me. That's very important to me. And it's something that I carry into video games. So, you know, what works for you? Is there like a go-to place you have? If there's a special place, is there a person you talk to, a loved one, a friend? Is there, you know, a game or something that you boot up that just kind of helps you get back to that mental level? Or are you someone who continues to struggle with that? In which case, you know, I hope you can find that thing. And maybe there's something I talk about in this video that works as a trigger for you, that helps you kind of, you know, get into that mental positivity zone. That makes your days, you know, day in and day out, just way more enjoyable, because you only got one life, man. You know, and I just live it, and be happy is the big thing. You know, be happy about what you're doing. And if you're not happy about what you're doing, you know, find a change. Again, find that trigger to put yourself in that situation to be happy. Thank you guys for joining me for, once again, something a little bit different. I've kind of been spurred on after a couple of videos that I've done over the last month to talk more about stuff like this, because it affects me, it affects all of us. I think it affects the way we interact with one another, and again, not just in the real world, but in the world of video games. And to me, discussions like this, commentary like this, are very much, you know, breaking down things that normal human beings don't like to talk about. You know, the things that we just kind of push aside. And I think discussions like this can have a really positive impact on communities, you know, wherever they exist, anywhere in the world. If you guys like this stuff and you want to see a bit more of this, no doubt I'm not going to just flood the channel with, you know, really deep emotional commentary and discussion, but I think a lot of people enjoy this stuff, and I personally enjoy it. It helps me actually make it through the rest of the week. Like, I think if I didn't make this video today, the rest of the week could have been one of those weeks that was a bit of a trudge for me, you know? I would have been overly judgmental of my work, and I wouldn't have put out as much stuff as I know I want to. I think this is going to be a great week now, you know? It's nice to talk to people sometimes. Like I said, that can in some instances be your trigger. It's just talk to somebody about it. Get it out of your head and get past it. That's the big thing, is don't turn it into like a you know, like I said, like a bitching fest. Turn it into a bit of constructive, you know, how can I look past this and move forward in a better way? Alright, I could ramble for another 3 hours, and I won't. I hope you have a great Monday and an amazing rest of the week. There's going to be some more Overwatch content from me this week. Also, we're going to be checking out House of the Dying Sun, also previously known as Enemy Starfighter, tomorrow, so I'm very much looking forward to that. For those of you guys who have been waiting for me to go back to my space sim roots, it's not really a space sim, but it looks like an awesome space fighter with some amazing visual aesthetics that I'm very much looking forward to checking out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.